Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we have another really big PlayStation 5 Pro leak that is now actually giving a lot of big details out there. So as you guys probably have heard or probably have maybe seen, right now the PlayStation 5 Pro is somewhat still expected maybe for the next holiday season. We did have the PlayStation 5 Slim, which did seem like it was all confirmed, and it has been out for quite some time. So it does seem like a lot of these leaks from these past few years have been very, very credible. But right now we have a very, very large list of the specifications that are basically what the PlayStation 5 Pro is going to be, and as well, I'm extremely excited to get to go and we'll even have a chance to imagine it, to dream about it at the end of the day. Now, we've also been seeing a lot of rumors with the GTA 6 might have a combination with the PS5 Pro, and that makes a lot of sense too as well, because console games are definitely a huge driving factor on GTA. So I'm going to go talk about the fact that these reports are coming out, that these internal specifications are coming out, and I want to hear all your thoughts and comments down below. As often you guys are brand new, we are going to weigh a $500 or PlayStation 5 Slim for the holiday season, so make sure you guys are going and subscribing with the notifications on for that, or as well check out the Twitter link down below. It's very easy entries, like either follow up the Twitch or follow up the Twitter for bonus entries, and of course I want to hear all your thoughts and comments all down below. So let's go dive on into it. So as I've mentioned, the PlayStation 5 Pro, we'd keep on having a chance to make videos on it. If that's something you guys kind of like, which I kind of like, I will keep on giving you guys details, because it seems like it keeps on trickling on in a little bit more and more and more as time goes on. And the more we hear, kind of the better we're actually expecting this. I'm actually getting a pretty big thumbs up. I'm liking everything I'm seeing. At the end of the day, well, we want this. I want a brand new console. I want a refresher. Now, would I want to buy one right this second? I don't know. When it comes to next year, my opinion might go and change. But I'm kind of leaning towards probably. I'd probably be down to go buy it. So right now, we've been seeing a few different big parts of leaks. Where number one is that apparently a lot of really big game companies have now been somewhat confirmed that they're going to be getting their PlayStation 5s in general. This means in terms of their dev units, and I've kind of talked about some prior videos, but it seems like some of these bigger, higher-end PlayStation studios or Imagine places that are like Rockstar, where they are, well, big industry partners, and they want to make sure that game is running perfectly good, and they only have another year maybe to optimize it for the console whenever it does come out. And even if it does come out, in 2025, and the PS5 Pro might be coming out in the 2024, that just gives them more time to cook. So either way, this has now been apparently confirmed that this has now existed. It is out in the wild, and big industry partners do have it, which also means that we might be expecting a more prominent and proper leak in the near future. But what we're seeing right now is Sony's Project Trinity, aka the PlayStation 5 Pro. And now this is making me happy because I think I'd want to buy one. So the big question before I go into the details, would you guys buy one yourselves? So the new details came from Kepler and the Reset Era forums, and where alleged specs for the next-gen console have been released. The system known as the PS5 Pro has been the subject of speculation for several months now. However, it is anticipated that the complete specifications will be released in due course, owing to a distribution of development kits. This has now been claimed by renowned leaker Tom Henderson, basically stating that's some guy that is working on, let's say, once again, Rockstar, GTA 6. That a GTA 6 dev might be being like, hey, yo, boys and grills, we got some cool consoles. You guys can never guess what it be. And right now, Xbox doesn't seem to have the Pro in the works. We haven't seen as many leaks around the Pro. So what else would it be? The Switch Pro? Most likely not. The PlayStation 5 Pro? Due to the core legal documents from the Xbox Activision case? Most likely that. So the name Project Trinity is a combination of three technologies: fast storage, so think the SSD, accelerated ray tracing, probably in regards to the GPU, and scaling up as well, so maybe just a mixture of everything, or even the APU, CPU. Those are the fundamental components of modern gaming and graphics. As previously mentioned, the PS5 Pro console is said to be using a new SoC called the Viola, manufactured by TSMC N4P node. If you guys know, TSMC is pretty much one of the biggest semiconductor and processing, basically production units in the entire planet, one of the biggest and baddest boys coming to town. The custom APU is to employ Zen 2 cores, which means we retain some of the same microarchitecture as the current version of the console. The APU will now allow the CPU cores to boost up to 4.4 gigahertz, it is claimed. Moreover, AMD is to improve the graphics capability of this console by introducing the newer RDNA 3 architecture. So we're talking huge upgrades, we're talking some big specs. In the prior leaks, we were actually hearing that they wanted to go and have the OS in their own individual subsection of the SSD to basically take storage away from the console. So basically you have more chance to have stuff like a GTA or Call of Duty on your consoles, not taken away from it. But as well, we're also kind of hearing rumors that the GPU was going to be big and the CPU was going to be a little bit on the maybe not as big upgrade, although that's been a little bit more on the iffy on prior leaks as of right now. So I know they say this is what AMD leaker said about 56 out of the 60 CUs assumptions for the PS5 Pro. So these these might be fake, saying, yeah, they were actually completely wrong about that. The PS5 actually uses 60 out of 64 CUs, and Viola's full config is 2SE, X2SA, X8WGP. Now, I'm not the most technical when it comes to this one, but leakers are basically kind of just reconfirming some of the statistics that are coming out right now, apparently this past few days. The details on the GPU configuration vary depending on the source. Kepler, who was the first to name the custom APU as Viola, now claims that the SoC offers 60 compute units out of 64 available. So this means that the GPU has 3,840 stream processors, the same config already used by the Navi 32 RX 780 XT desktop GPUs as well. So basically like a pretty good high-end GPU that's involved with this one, and this information is contrary to the Reset Era leaker, though it is also saying for the 64 CUs. Now, this is a little bit above like my knowledge base, I would say, on what I've been seeing, but it does seem like overall the leaks do seem like they're slightly better in comparison to what they even were before. So the console code name was Project Trinity, with the SoC Viola. CPU is an 8-core AMD Zen 2 4.4 GHz, and the GPU is a 30 WGP 60 CU AMD RDNA 3 card. And the memory will be a 16GB of DDR6 RAM, and the announcement date will apparently be around September 2024, release date November 2024, with all these various sources. Now, this kind of make a lot of sense too, because they'd have a chance to have people kind of brace into the holiday season. So think September, which is right when pretty much the holiday season starts, you allow pre-orders, and then November is when they get fully released, and they also maybe have additional extra stock to put in like the Target, Walmart, Best Buys, and all of that, which makes a lot of sense. So while the PS5 APU utilized a blend of RDNA 1 and 2 architectures, the upcoming PS5 Pro is expected to transition to a hybrid of the RDNA 3 and 4. The primary graphics will be RDNA 3 based, with enhancements in ray tracing drawing from the RDNA 4 architecture. Notably, dedicated RT hardware will handle BVP transversal for ray tracing instead of shaders. So I'm not really sure exactly what that means, but just based on that overall thing, is saying they're going to maybe try to focus more on ray tracing and basically optimizing the ray tracing versus pretty much anything else, which I think is nice. Like, I think ray tracing is going to be the big still next gen push. It's very prevalent in PS5, Xbox, and PC gaming, so they have a chance to basically go and custom code that and make it a little bit nicer to make sure that games, lighting effects, water details, etc. are number one, not as taxing, but number two, also nice. It's always a big deal. So the gaming consoles reported to boast 16GB of DDR6 memory connected to a 125 6-bit memory bus, resulting in a 576 GP bandwidth. The GPU clock is rumored to be at 2.0 GHz, equating to a single precision computing power of 28.67 teraflops, thanks to AMD RDNA dual issue design. So basically, it's fabricated on the TSMC. It's maintaining a Zen 2 architecture found in the existing PS5 for the compatibility, but the frequency will once again be dynamic as well with a higher peak. So 64 kilobits of L1 cache per core, 512 kilobits of L2 cache per core, and 8 megabits of L3 shared as well. So Viola's die is 30 WGPs when fully enabled, but only have 28 WGPs enabled for the silicone and retail as well. There's a lot of big words. So basically, it's a combination of a lot of big technologies, making sure all of this will be compressing well, decompressing well, making sure ray tracing is good, making sure the AI is upscaling well, and making sure the console runs very efficiently. So overall, it just seems like a really big upgrade when it comes to the console itself. Architecture is the RDNA 3, but it's taking the ray tracing improvements from the next generation, and as well as going to be also be having dedicated hardware instead of relying on shaders too. So you guys have a more like a little bit of a dumbed down version, let me know. It's kind of like the higher level big brain picture, which even I'm kind of having issues understanding sometimes, but basically just seems like a lot of big upgrades on GPU, CPU, memory, and also storage. So it is and does seem like a good console. Like, it seems like it's going to be better specs, probably better for 4K 60 FPS consistently, or even pushing like, you know, maybe 1080 1440 very, very easy. I know PlayStation 5 already does that, but either way. And they're basically going to have targeted 2.0 gigahertz, and this lands the dual issue that basically their range as well might have some, in my opinion, maybe have slightly different peaks from basically what I'm kind of reading in front of us over here. And they also want to have some pretty good, I guess, overall optimization improvements. Like, it's a little, like I said, it's a little bit over my head, but it does seem like all that type of stuff is just overall good. It seems like every big aspect that you want for basically a PC is better, and all the PS5 specs are also better. They also mentioned, too, that one of the big core focuses on the PS5 Pro will be more so basically having better rendering and probably have better stable upscaling to basically make sure that 30 FPS is a higher goal. So they want to have basically a 4K output 60 FPS as the goal rather than the current 4K 30. So that's like just basically, you guys want to see the improvement, just more frames, really good. I also had a chance to go, and if you guys want to have like a more of a deeper dive, I can do this for separate videos. I don't want to go and ramble on you guys too much because that was a pretty big information blast. But at the end of the day, it's just a lot of really good stuff in comparison to the Xbox, in comparison to the PlayStation, in comparison to everything. So I appreciate you guys all so much for watching. I just want to know what you guys kind of think overall. You guys have a Twitter and Twitch stream down below. Check out the PlayStation 5 giveaway links and everything else. And I appreciate you guys all so much for existing here in the first place.